Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dave Kittle Show. This is Dave Kittle, physical therapist and the owner of Concierge Pain Relief Home Physical Therapy here in New York City, and as well as the Fieldmaker Group, where we are acquiring outpatient physical therapy practices in the New York and New Jersey area. Today we have on one of our colleagues, Andy Zapata. He is a occupational therapist. I almost said physical therapist, occupational therapist. I'm assuming it's named physical therapy now, compared because you're an OT. So as opposed to occupational therapy now, is it just because physical therapy is more ubiquitous? There's just more need and demand for that. There's more consumer knowledge of PT versus OT. What were the reasons there?
That's exactly true. I mean, everything you just said, there's just more for outpatient physical therapy, which is what we do, right? Outpatient rehabilitation, orthopedic injuries. The majority of our cases are orthopedic. And so we still get a lot of OT, but not compared to physical therapy. It's probably like 20% OT, 80% physical therapy. And believe it or not, I had a team who we had a couple names when I started rebranding into, was it American Physical Therapy? Was it Physical Therapy Now? Was it Right Here Physical Therapy? Because that was what we were operating in. And we paid a group to study, and it was like 99 to 1. Everybody said, no, gotta go with physical. So it was direct access. It was the ability to have patients come into physical therapy now. A lot of states have direct access, so that had a lot to play with the name. Also, the word now, believe it or not, when we started this in 2015, wasn't like so common as it is now. Like HBO now, Disney now. We have a bunch of people that are using the word now, but I think I know why. It's because we are in a time of our lives right now, Dave, where we want everything fast and we want everything now. And simply it's because of this, because we have access to data and technology. We want things now. So our new era, we understand that time is the most precious asset that we have. And we want things faster. We want things now. We don't want to waste our life trying to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to get a referral and come into physical therapy. So I think the name and the era that we're living on, it's having a great influence in us scaling the business and bringing in people into the system. So physical therapy now is direct access, is time, acknowledgement of time and understanding our time. And also we did a study and everybody picked physical therapy now, research.
And anyone that's listening that doesn't understand or doesn't know, but direct access is where a patient can go right to a physical therapy office or call them and not have a physician referral, not have a physician script. Most people listening probably understand that. Also, the physical therapy now, it's almost like a call to action. That's like right. Marketing, persuasion type component to it, maybe.
That's right. Yeah, it's like you don't have to wait. Just call us now and we'll get you right in. So it's almost like a call to action, like you said.
Love it. So in terms of the history of your 125 transactions, that what percentage is involved in the current franchise of physical therapy now? Because I was looking at your social media and I saw that you're selling or buying back recently. I think last week or two, you had a therapist who bought, I think you said her second or third franchise from you. But then there was also last year on your Instagram, I saw there was a Martin or Mr. Martin that you bought his franchise back. So how many of the 125 are part of like those transactions under the current physical therapy now umbrella?
Yeah, so we've sold in operation. We have over 46 locations, and those locations also have multi-units where they buy 2 or 3 ahead of time. Some of them have not opened, so it's still a transaction, it's still a sale, in my opinion. But some of the even franchises, they want an exit. Sometimes they want an exit in 3 years, 5 years, and sometimes they're doing very good and they get a cash offer and they get to sell their practice. And sometimes they're like, look, this is not for me. Some physical therapists will say, this is not for me. I just want to be a practitioner. I don't want to have to manage a team. And some people are doing very well. And they're like, Andy, I want to cash out right now when my business is hot. We're doing very well. And I want that exit and that money so I can go on vacation and do my next thing in life. And so since I have under the agreement, I have the first option to buy. Sometimes I exercise that option because I know I can either keep it as corporate or resell it to somebody else who wants it. And then sometimes they resell it themselves to other people. So I've been part of acquisitions back into the franchise where I've been blessed to be able to buy it back, and sometimes I buy it just to sell it. And so we have over 125 either startups, sales, resells, or de novos, startup from the beginning, or acquisitions. We're starting to look at acquisitions from outside of the system, so that we can continue to scale the brand. So I've been blessed to be part of this, and I think I've passed over 100. I know what I think I know what I'm doing when it comes to buying physical therapy centers, and this is what I've dedicated my last 20 years to, is acquisitions and helping physical therapists and entrepreneurs scale in the physical therapy space.
Got it. So just to clarify, you've made acquisitions of existing clinics and rebranded to Physical Therapy Now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Got it. Awesome. I was looking at the list of locations recently on the website, and I saw there's one up here in Paramus. I'm in New York City. I'm in Brooklyn. So if I were to, not that we haven't talked about this, but let's say if I had a location, I bought the franchise rights for where I'm at in Brooklyn, and I had Physical Therapy Now, and I was engaged. I joined the whole everything, the franchise, and then we had whatever your agreements are after a certain amount of time. You said you get the first right of refusal, right?
Yep.
And then let's say I got a better offer from someone externally. Do you have to approve that buyer because it's under the Physical Therapy Now brand? Like, do you have to kind of vet them and you kind of approve them, even though maybe they're paying more or better terms or something? So I'm going to try to sell to someone externally that's not within the franchise umbrella. You already said no because let's say you said, here's the best offer that you guys can make, and then maybe I found a better offer, and I would rather sell to that individual or that group or partnership. But do you have to approve that external buyer?
Yes, and the integrity of the brand, the people that we allow to be part of the brand. We really want a very clean, a very organized, a very just holy, just nice organization where we all work in synchrony and in love, right? And that's why we have that heart in my logo, because this company is about love. This company is about humanity. This company is about giving. And we've had people try to buy the franchise that have very ugly records in their past, and no judgment. Just there's nothing wrong with people's past, and I believe in second opportunities, but to have somebody with a very extensive criminal history to come and buy the locations or the franchise, it's not something that I would approve. But there's always ways out of the franchise. It's not to say that you're never going to sell the brand. There's always ways to do things. Nothing is never no. It's just the people that we want in the franchise are people that are very that share the same vision and values that we share as a company.
Got it. If someone's listening or watching and they're a physical therapist or an occupational therapist, if they wanted to learn more about the franchise opportunities that you guys have, how can you best describe the difference between your opportunity versus if someone wanted to go out on their own, right? I think you kind of already described it earlier, where that therapist has to go kind of figure out everything. They have to understand lease terms and equipment and spacing and negotiation of that lease, and then the credentialing and everything with insurance and all that before marketing, before the capital expenditures of equipment and everything. So obviously you're providing a lot in terms of the know-how and the systems and the processes. But if there's a therapist, an OT, a PT, some other healthcare provider listening now, what would be what's your either elevator pitch or your explanation as to your opportunity versus if someone wanted to, for us, so we're buying clinics, we're buying locations up here in New York City. So what would be the difference between your opportunity versus what we're doing? We're trying to go buy a clinic, or maybe a PT or an OT who's looking to start from scratch. What would be a good way to describe your opportunity at Physical Therapy Now?
Yeah, if you're a physical therapist, occupational therapist, or just have multi-unit locations, the first question I would ask is, do you want to continue to have the lifestyle that you have? Or do you want to be more of a business owner and not operator? Because really what I'm teaching is the systems to become a business owner, not an operator. Just like there's a lot of books like the E-Myth. I would recommend everybody to read the E-Myth, which is where it talks about, your business should be a passive vehicle for you to live the lifestyle that you want, not you be a slave of the business to get a salary or revenue to live off the business. It's the two different things. And so what we teach is systems and operations so that you can be a business owner, not operator. Drop in the systems, drop in the people, and that's what we teach. But aside from that, we've been fortunate to develop systems with the greatest minds of the world. And some of that is proprietary, but our goal is to give you more time, more money, and more magic. And what I mean by magic is more experiences with your family, more things that you really want to do. And if you just want to be a therapist, that's amazing too. That's great. We can just navigate on how to give you more time and more money and more magic, but as a therapist. So my dream, my vision is to really empower the therapist to have those three things.
Got it. Awesome. There are a lot of therapists that you and I probably both come across where they want to try to continue to treat patients and stay in the trenches of patient care, but they also want to manage or own or operate. And I think what you just described is a good separation in terms of an operator versus an owner. And you were kind of hinting like an owner is someone who may not even be treating at all, right? They're just kind of overseeing high level things as opposed to an operator or like a clinic director type therapist, right?
Right.
Got it. So of your franchisees, how many of them are treating approximately? How many of them are treating 1 or 2 days a week versus a franchisee who is not treating at all?
I think the physical therapists that are operating, obviously they treat as they want. I think most of them are treating twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, but not fully integrated. And they have other therapists that are running the business or doing the treatment. But the passion to be a physical therapist almost never goes away. Like I want to treat patients sometimes just because I have the passion to help. But we do have physical therapists and executive entrepreneurs that don't treat patients and they just run the day-to-day operations. And sometimes they hire the right managers and we train those managers to run the day-to-day operations. And we have some entrepreneurs that just look at the KPIs, the high level numbers, and they manage the operations from the KPIs and the numbers. So that's what we teach. That's what we aspire to give everybody more time, more money, and more magic. There's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of mindset that I didn't know that would go into that as well. A lot of personal and professional development that also goes into that. So we teach 3 things in the operation. We teach the process on how to operate your business. We call that like process mastery. And there's a lot of dynamics that go into process. We also teach the influence, because if you don't have the right influence skills to connect with your patients, to connect with the physicians, to connect with the hospitals, with the insurance companies, if you don't have that influence formula in there, you're going to suffer when it comes to driving patients in the door. And then we talk about the self, the mindset, the body. How does your mind have to be? How do you have to be aligned with your body to be able to perform? Because if you're sluggish, if you're not sleeping well, if you're not getting into work, if you're just not performing, if you don't have the desire to succeed or the desire to push your team, the desire to be a leader, then you're going to stay stuck. So we teach the leadership and the mind and the body on how to get to that. It's a whole almost like a mentorship program, a coaching program, a business coaching program, and it's all geared towards physical and occupational therapists or entrepreneurs in the business of physical therapy. That's the best way I can explain it. There's a lot to it, a lot of mentorship and a lot of coaching. But at the end of the day, we believe that everybody wants one of 3 things: more money, more time, or more magic.
Right. And time is the only thing we definitely can't get back.
Right. That's right.
We're both on a tight schedule. Last minute or two. Why do franchising? Why not own all these clinics? Why not? And I know one of the reasons is maybe for someone who's trying to, go at your type of scale is like they're probably going to have to raise more money up front, private equity money or whatever, or significant amount of commercial debt or whatever. But why franchise versus just own all these clinics?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we get asked this same question every single day. But when you go on your own, especially if you're a small 1, 2, 3 unit location, you have nobody behind you that's really helping you push you forward. There's nobody that has the same interest that you want to succeed. So we have that same interest because we get a royalty. We get at the end of the month, we get a royalty based on your revenue. So we have an army of people pushing you forward, giving you resources to help you succeed, so that we can also succeed and rise our company. And then most people, they open up, or most physical therapists, practitioners, physicians, we're all included in this. We open up a location, we get stuck treating patients, and because we love it, but sometimes we can't get out of it. So again, what we teach you is how to run and be a business owner and not a business operator. Again, with the idea of having more time in your hands, more money. And so the challenge of you being by yourself is just like that. Just like I said, you're by yourself. When you have a team, when you have an army of people behind you, from CFOs to CEOs to marketing directors and executives helping you succeed, then it changes the dynamic a little bit, because we have access to a lot of resources. And essentially what it is, anybody can figure this out. You can figure out how to be very successful, but it's going to take you a very long time to figure out the systems and putting all into place. And so essentially what you're buying time in a franchise. Anybody can figure out how to make the best pizza in the world, but why do you go to Domino's? Why do you go to McDonald's? Why do you go to, KFC, all these beautiful franchises? Because you're cutting the time and they're giving you a recipe to succeed. But it's just time. You want more time? You got to join a franchise.
Love it. The perfect place to end the show right now. Andy, we definitely have to have you back. Love the energy. I love just your knowledge and experience. What's a good place for the audience to check you out in regards to either email address, LinkedIn, your website? Let the audience know where they can find you and learn more about the opportunities at Physical Therapy Now.
Oh, Dave, thank you so much for reaching out and making this happen. It's important that we share the message to help more practitioners succeed without the challenges that we've all had to face. I know we've all had our share of challenges, but you can go to physicaltherapynow.com and write me an email. I receive all the emails that go through there. And you'll learn a lot about the franchise. What does it take? Some of the things that we provide. A lot of the things are proprietary because I want to save them for the people that actually buy the franchise. But we will be more than happy to join here and drop some knowledge on how to scale and grow your business, because that's where the passion is. Once you learn the system, how do you really scale it to the next level? And that's where, that growth, that's where I dedicate most of my time to. So Dave, thank you again. Really appreciate being on your show, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE@CONCIERGE painrelief.com, or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.